This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 6. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and behold, among the simple ones I discerned among the youth a man void of understanding. So a lot of us, especially men of the children of the book, are lost because we lack understanding. We lack discernment. We lack prudence. We lack wisdom. And therefore, we are lost. But in taking heed to wisdom and understanding, admitting your faults, admitting your errors, will lead you on the right way and the right path. The first thing we have to do is understand, as the old proverbs say, is that the beginning of knowledge is to admit that you don't know anything. And this sentiment is true. And once you start from that point, it is then you can be taught. But that starts with being able to renew your mind. You cannot put new wine in old bottles. So flushing out that which is old and does not serve you is imperative to increasing and learning. So how do we do that? This is Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is the good and acceptable and perfect will of God the power. Right, so we must first allow our minds to be engaged in a way that challenges the thoughts which we have. What thoughts do we have, and where do they came from? Then we must ask and evaluate if the thoughts that we have are correct for who we are and what is required of us. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her word, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. The scripture says, My people have perished for lack of knowledge. So the inability to take heed to instruction can make the difference between life and death. Verse 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit upon you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye have refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set at not all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Right, so we have to understand that the Most High God is the King of terrors. Scripture says that it is a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the Lord. So knowing that he is all powerful and he can destroy both the body and the soul, it behooves us to get on his good side and to understand his ways and to walk in them to the best of our ability. Verse 27, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Right, so there's a lot of people in Christian circles who believe that God is a genie who they can call on when it suits them. You cannot live a life of wickedness and then expect the Lord to help you during your time of stress. One of the things that we see within the Christian church is they call the um, penance prayer, which is basically something in the lines of I could live a wicked life my whole life, and then when I'm on my deathbed, I say the sinner's prayer, and Michael and the archangels will open me with open arms. And that is not so. A lot of people have been deceived from their own vain opinions. And the purpose of the time we have now, which is this grace period, is to recognize the error of our ways and to ask for grace and mercy. Lord says, where it says, I heard your speech and I was afraid. We must ask the Lord in his wrath to remember mercy upon us, especially in these times that we are about to embark on. Verse 29, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They were none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. So we have to be very careful about the ideologies which we take on. As I said before, we're in ideological warfare, Marxism, and these are tenets of Luciferianism. So a lot of these ideologies, progressive ideologies especially, which are propagated and pushed to the so-called black community, are actually taking us further and further away from our power, right? If you're going to go down the rabbit hole, make sure that it is the right one. Verse 32, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whosoever hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safety, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. Right, so knowing that the Lord is bringing his wrath and judgment on the earth, it would behoove us to find out what is pleasing to the Lord and to make haste in doing so. It's the only way that we will be saved and that we will have the angels of judgment pass over us during the time of the great destruction. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 7. He that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. So again, this knowledge, this wisdom will only be made available to few, because a lot of people have already heard this word and have been marked for judgment. But those who are wise amongst the people are taking heed and fearing more and more, growing wiser and wiser as we approach the evil day. The word says, many desire the day of the Lord, but to what end will it be for you? Um, a lot of people are waiting for the return of so-called Jesus, but Jesus will not be returning. It will be a man called Yahweh Shai, and his doctrine and the purpose of his return is contrary to the ways which we have been brought up to be accustomed to. So we must learn these truths quickly while there is still time. Verse 9, give instruction to a wise man, and he will yet be wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. Verse 10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. So as his ways are higher than our ways, and as his thoughts are higher than our thoughts, we must renew our mind and take on the mind of the Lord so that we can understand what his will is, when we can then do it to the best of our ability and hope to be spared from judgment. So as I said in Romans 12:2 about renewing your mind, how do you renew your mind and what should you be renewing it to? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 16. For who hath known the mind of the Lord that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ. Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. So having the mind of the anointed will make the crooked path straight. The Lord said, beware of wolves in sheep's clothing, and to strive to enter in at the straight gate. The straight gate is a representation of the one and only interpretation of the scriptures, but there will be few who find it. It's the book of Proverbs chapter 20 verse 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So, as it is said, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Part of this journey or this ascension, so to speak, will be in partly due to being predestined, chosen from the foundation of the earth. But we have a part to play in asking the Lord to order our steps, right? The steps of the righteous man are ordered by the Lord. So if you're in a place where you feel like you're at a fork in the road, pray to the Lord and ask the Lord for him to give you guidance, to give you direction, to show you the right way, the right path. He gives wisdom to those who ask of it. But what we have not because we ask not. So taste and see that the Lord is good. Learn the fear of the Lord and amend your ways. Remember, freely receive, freely give.